What's going on YouTube? Cryo here, and I'm bringing you my first ever GTA video. I'm going to be talking about my top 5 ways of making money in both easiness and in terms of time. I am not including heists, and I am not including stock markets, particularly because it's not up and running yet. So, enjoy it, comment, let me know what you think, and hope you learn something. Ranking in at number 5 on our list here are general missions. These are these jobs that Simeon, Lamar, Gerald, they'll call you in. It puts you into an instance with you and some other characters, and you have some general goal you're trying to accomplish. To me, these are very easy missions. I think I've failed one, maybe 2 of them so far. I've seen them even reward you as much as $9,000, but the reason that it ranks lower than these, these ranks 1 through 4 on my list is because typically it's in the 1 to 2,000 range. However, they generally only take 2 to 5 minutes. They're not very long. So, regardless of how much money you get, you're not wasting a lot of time, which is why they're still definitely worth doing, and some of them are fun too. So, keep that in mind, and moving on. Coming in at number 4 on our list is survival missions. It's a little lower on the list because it does take some coordination, some skill, and some effort. For me, I wouldn't do one of these missions unless I was in a lobby with a couple of my own friends who I could communicate with. You have these waves, helicopters, enemies, even cars coming at you, and your chances of dying in this one versus, say, a general mission for Gerald or Lamar is that you have a higher chance of dying and it not being worth your time, the amount of money you end up getting. It is very fun though, and it's a good way to get rep points as well, so that's another thing to take into consideration. But I do have a slight disclaimer here. I've only done a few of these. I'm only level 17, I think, and I think they become available at level 15. That being said, I think the second one we did, we got to like wave 9 or so, and I made somewhere around 11 to 12,000, which that translates to like 15 minutes of gameplay, maybe 20, so it's not too bad. It goes up exponentially, so it's not one wave equals $1,000, it's, it keeps going up, so the harder the waves get, the more money you get per wave, so if you're good at it, you can get a lot of money. Like I said though, this is an example of something you want to have a team for, and if so, it's certainly worth your time, but solo, you risk getting people who don't know what they're doing, or not communicating, so you have nobody to feed off with, which certainly hurts your chances of getting money. It might be something that gets easier as you level up though. You get higher level armor, your guns get upgraded so you have different attachments on them and other options, and you just get more experienced players as well, so a full team better equipped, maybe this becomes a great resource for a substantial amount of money. Early on when you first unlock it, they're fun, but not enough to make number 1 on the list. Coming in at number 3 on the list is selling cars to the Los Santos Customs, and to be specific, I use this customs down here on the lower left corner of the map. Specifically, I use this one because I have found a pretty high success rate of finding the SUV, the baller SUV. This thing will sell for $9,000. I've taken the liberty of getting one right here just for time's sake, but they come along the street right out in front of here. They're not super hard to find. Like I said, they sell for $9,000, so you grab it, you drive into the Los Santos Customs, and you've made $9,000. Typically less than a 5-minute job. That includes you driving to it. This is such a great way for making money because while you're doing your other jobs, you can just dip in here, sell one of these, make a quick buck, and you can go back to doing what you're doing. It would be number 1 on the list, but you can only do it once per hour, so $9,000 per hour isn't worth your time. But doing it in addition to other things is certainly a great extra thing you can do to earn some quick cash. So coming in at number 2 here is when you get Simi in his cars. And I'm not talking about when you go into to do a job in one of the instances for 1 to 4 other players and you do a little mission. I'm talking about the text message that he'll send you that he's telling you to get one of maybe 5 cars or 6 or however many it is. It's a pretty quick task, and if you're a good driver and you don't damage the car, it's pretty easy money. And it can get you anywhere from as low as 6,000 to as high as 13,000. I haven't seen more. Maybe it can go higher. Maybe it's low. It can go lower. Those are just the numbers I've seen. The key is just to make sure you don't damage the car. I've never damaged one, and I've never had a time when he's told me I couldn't take it. But I've heard people say that if it's damaged, he won't accept the vehicle. So just be careful about that. And as long as you get it there in one piece, then it's very easy money. Number 1 on our list here are races. And if you are good at races, you can win a few $1,000s in 2 to 3 minute intervals. If you find lobbies where they just keep voting race after race after race, and you're good at, getting, winning, or at least 2nd or 3rd place, they're just going to keep voting races, so you can crank out multiple races in 10 minutes, and, particularly if you're good at them, you consistently get the good money. One note you should make is you have to finish the race. If you don't finish, you don't get money. Even if you get dead last, it's the same amount of time and you get at least a little bit of money. Tip here for you guys is pay attention to lobbies with bad racers. And I know this should, sound like common sense, but if you get into a lobby, I've done it and my roommate's done it. I'm going to use his example because his is a glorious example. He got into a lobby where they were, and I'll quote them, practicing flying. Well, my roommate's a very good flyer, and so he was winning every single race for an hour straight. And every race is $7,000 for flying. Like the supercars here, they tend to be more on around the $5,000 range if you win. But he made roughly 90,000, maybe 100,000, somewhere in that range in about an hour just playing with these guys. If you can find people who aren't so good at racing, just grind it out and you can make a lot of money in a very short amount of time. Even if you don't get one of these glory lobbies where you're going to make a ton of money, if you're pretty good at racing and even if you have a little room for improvement, you can see my driving's not flawless by any means. It's still a great way to make cash, and like I said, races are typically 2 to 3 minute intervals. I do recommend, even though it's not really a race, avoid the parachutings. First place gets like $1,000 maybe, so definitely not worth your time. They're slow, and in my opinion, they're very boring at the same time. So yes, for all these reasons, racing comes in at the top spot on my list for easiest and fastest way to make money. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe. Let me know if you guys maybe have other strategies that I didn't address. Check the description for the script that I used. And until next time, YouTube, stay breezy.